What's up, y'all? It's your girl Lyric, back on my channel with another video. Um, Today it's not like a specific sermon, or I don't know if sermon's the right word, lesson or anything. I just really want to talk about, because it is my life right now, being a single mom while trying to walk in purpose, and then also making sure I focus on my relationship with God and strengthen my relationship with God. I'm sorry if I sound kind of stuffy. I'm getting over a cold, but I really want to talk about that because being a single mom in itself is a lot. Being a mom in general in itself is a lot, because you're trying to make sure that you're giving your kids the proper time and the proper care and making sure your relationship with them is strong, but then you also want to make sure you're giving God the proper time and making sure your relationship with him is strong. And then when it comes to him revealing your purpose to you, you want to make sure that you are taking the steps that you need to take and making sure that if he gives you a new assignment that you are fulfilling that. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Um and I don't know if I am navigating it correctly. I'll let God be the judge of that. But I just wanted to just share just some, I don't know if insight's the right word, on just how it's been for me personally, or if this video is steps to take to get into, how, because I don't even know if I'm effectively doing it. I don't even know if I'm properly doing it. I don't even want to title this video steps on how to navigate your relationship with God. Well, maybe not navigate, balance your relationship with God while also balancing life and motherly duties. Like, I don't even know if I want to name this video steps, because I don't even know if what I'm doing is right. Because your girl be stressed out. I be stressed out. So I guess this is really just me talking about it, about the season I'm in and the journey of it, and just being in it, I guess. So I have twins. I have two 5-year-old twins. They'll be 6 in January, in a couple months. I have a full-time job as well as a part-time remote job. My full-time job is hybrid and then a remote job. And I am very active in my church. I speak at my church once a month, at least once a month, on a Sunday. And then I also do praise and worship. I lead praise and worship on any Sunday I'm not speaking. So very busy. And then I love being there and celebrating and supporting my friends. So any event I can go to support them and celebrate them, or anytime I have to make sure that I can go to dinner with my friends, or I have weekly coffee dates with two of my close friends, or like my sisters that live here in my hometown with me, and just trying to make sure that I make time for my friends. I also have 2 kids, as I just said, making sure that I'm taking them places and giving them, allowing them to have new experiences, and making sure that I'm spending the proper time that I need to with them. And then I'm the big sister to, I have 6 younger siblings, so I'm the oldest. I'm 27, and then it is 22, 21, 20, 14, or he's 14 or 15. After the 20-year-old, I'm just like, I don't know how old y'all are. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Jacob's 14. Then I think Brooklyn's 9 and Chris is 8, or Brooklyn just turned 10. I don't know. I don't know. One of the two. So pretty much being, like, I was a mom before I was a mom. I was the second mom to my siblings, and I still am the second mom to my siblings. Like, I feel like as long as I'm the big sister, it's never going to stop. So dealing with that, and then also making sure that God comes first in my life. It is so just like, And I have to make sure that I make obviously a conscious effort every day to make sure that I'm spending my time with God, and I'm praying and I'm worshiping and I'm doing all of these things to, I don't want to say all of these things, but I'm making sure that I'm spending time with God and I'm in His presence. And like I said, I'm praying, I'm talking to Him. I have to make sure I'm spending time with God. So it can be a lot. It is a lot. And like I said, I don't know if I am properly doing it or effectively doing it, but I do know that one thing that I need to stop doing is being so hard on myself and nitpicking and being so self-critical of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it in all areas of my life, as a mom, as a sister, as a daughter to, of course, my parents, but also as a daughter to God, you know, not being too hard on myself, because when I'm too hard on myself, I get discouraged and then it almost keeps me from moving forward. I feel paralyzed. I feel like I can't move and be effective because I'm so discouraged. So definitely I have to make sure I'm making a conscious effort to not be so hard on myself. Sometimes as a mom, it's really easy to look at the overflowing pile of laundry and be like, wow, I maybe not I suck, but like, dang, I really, that should be done. Or looking at the house being a mess and feel like a failure, or you ate out for the third time this week. You really should be cooking fresh, nutritious meals with fresh vegetables and fruit and all this stuff, but we just ate out for the third time this week. I suck. Or I didn't get to see my friends this week. I'm a terrible friend. Or my brother called me like twice and I missed both of his calls. I can't talk to him. I suck. Just not being as critical and hard on yourself is really something that it doesn't come easy at all, because sometimes I do it subconsciously and I have to be like, Lyric, like, chill out, calm down. So it's definitely not something that's easy to get over. It's definitely something that you have to constantly make a conscious effort to do, but it definitely, once you start practicing it and you make it and you're intentional about going over everything that you did do, like, okay, while the laundry is overflowing, I did clean my room and I cleaned the girls' room and I cleaned out that closet that I've been wanting to clean out for the past 2 weeks. Like, I did do these things. It's so easy to focus on what you didn't do versus what you did do, because everything that you did do, you feel like, oh, I should have did that. So it doesn't really like hold any weight in your mind. But you really have to look at what you got done. And even if you just rested, like today, like I said, I'm getting over a cold. I did not feel the best at all today. And I just laid around and chilled and like talked to the girls for most of the day. And I really wanted to get up early this morning, clean the whole house, deep clean, get baseboards, fold laundry, carpet clean. Like, I wanted to do all these things, but I didn't feel good. So I was just trying, I got an itch right there, but I didn't feel good. So I was just trying, I was resting. And I remember there was a time where if I felt like I rested too long, I would feel bad about myself. And I would think about that the whole rest of the day. Like, I was laying around for 2 hours. I could have did this in that 2 hours. I could have went here in that 2 hours. I could have did this in that 2 hours. But rest is so important and you need a reset. I work 2 jobs. I do all of these things that my job, I'm a data analyst essentially. It's an HRIS analyst, but that job, even though I'm sitting in front of a computer, it's not physically demanding. It is very mentally demanding and drains me mentally. I mean, some days I'm not as drained as others, but I know yesterday for a fact kicked my butt. So not only was I exhausted from yesterday at work, but I also had this cold that I'm trying to get over. So I listened to my body and I rested. And I feel like that's a very important thing too as a mom and just as a person, even if you're not a mom. It's just listening to your body. If your body's telling you to sit down, sit down. Like, don't argue with it. Don't try to push it, because when your body is talking to you, you need to listen to it. So my body told me to sit my butt down. So I sat my butt down, and I remember times where my body would tell me to sit down, and I'm like, you need to not button up. That's not the word. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you need to, I don't know. I can't find the word, but I feel like whoever's watching this, like, y'all get what I'm saying. Like, body, tighten up. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Tighten up. You're all right. We need to get this done. We need to do this. And I'll literally just crash, shut down. My body will shut down if I don't listen to it when it's telling me to rest. And I feel like that's obviously not just a me thing. I'm sure that happens to a lot of people, and that's probably normal. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. It's probably normal. But I feel like that's really the first thing, is listening to your body, and then also making sure that you make time for you and what you love. And if you're not sure, and when I say what you love, I don't know if it's necessarily what you love, but what gives you peace and what makes you feel like you. Because when you're a mom, it's so easy to identify as just a mom. And you aren't just a mom. Before you were a mom, I was Lyric, you were whoever, and you really have to go back and be like, what was I doing before I was a mom? What made me happy before I was a mom? What hobbies did I have before I was a mom? What was I passionate about before I was a mom? And you really have to make time for those things so you can make sure that you are not just finding your identity in being a mom. So, yeah, before I was a mom, I'm not gonna keep y'all. I was drunk. I was drunk about every night. I got pregnant. When did I get pregnant? I got pregnant in college, my last semester junior year. I had just turned 21, and I was living my life. I thought I was living my life. I was a hot mess. But before I had the girls, I had just turned 21. So I'm walking up in a liquor store like, what's up? ID, reading 21, I'm legal, I could be in here now. Like, yeah. So it was hard for me to go back and be like, what did I like to do before I was a mom? What was I passionate about? Because I'm not about to get drunk, and I'm not about to go to no party and be dancing on tables like I was. So I had to really figure that out, and I feel like that's so important. And then also hanging out with your friends, because hanging out with your friends gives you that sense of who you were before you became a mom. And it's just really refreshing, especially when you're around. I have such a genuine, supportive group of friends, and I love them so much. I am just so glad that God has blessed me with them. They are so supportive in everything that I do. Even if they don't really understand it, they're so supportive in all of it. And I just love them so much. So I really try to make sure that I make time for my friends, and they completely understand, like, if I can't go to certain things or if I can't do certain things. They 100% understand it, but I still try to, make sure I'm there and celebrate them when I can. So hanging out with friends, I would say, really gives you that sense of identity outside of being a mom. And then also getting into the walking in your purpose part, that part holds so much weight. So much weight. Not saying being a mom doesn't, or being a dad doesn't. Maybe there's a single dad watching this, I don't know, or who will watch this. But walking in your purpose holds so much weight because it's spiritual, and it's because it's a God thing. And I love God, and I don't want to misstep or walk out of alignment with his plan for my life. So that holds a lot of weight, and making sure that you're giving God the proper time, and then also serving God, and then also asking God, like, okay, I know this is my purpose, but I'm sure there's steps to that, or God gave you a certain vision or insight, or somebody prophesied something. Is it prophesied or prophesized? Prophesied? Prophesied? I think so. I blame my nose. But somebody spoke something over your life, and you're just like, I'm sure there's steps to that. What step do I take now? So we just constantly seeking that, and seeking God, and fulfilling assignments. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh. But I've realized that as long as I am obedient, and as long as my heart posture is right, then, and as long as I consult God for confirmation, or for any decision that I'm about to make, as long as I consult God and I see God and I'm being obedient, then I really truly feel like everything will fall into place how it should, according to his will. And while I may not always understand the way he's gonna do it, and sometimes I have, because I don't want to say I had real bad, because I feel like sometimes I still struggle with it, but I was real, maybe am, I don't know, I feel like I've gotten better, but I always tried to figure out, when something was spoke over my life, I would be like, okay, I think this is how it's gonna happen. Like, I'm going to this, so maybe I'm sure I'll meet that person, and then they'll like take me to this place, and then I'll meet that person, and then they'll start stirring something. Like, I would just try to figure it out, and I would be so stuck on my way of how I feel like it's gonna happen, that when a step in my way fell through, I would be very upset, and be like, oh, this isn't even gonna happen now. Like, Lyric, you're not the one that said it was gonna happen. So how are you determining that it's gonna happen or it's not? You're not the one that said it was gonna happen. So since you're not the one that said it was gonna happen, you really aren't the one that can say how it's gonna happen. So chill out. So I really had to realize that, and I'm still realizing that, and just being patient with God and understanding that. But yeah, just making sure I'm obedient, and I'm consulting God, and I'm seeking God, that I truly feel that everything will fall into place how it should, because what's for you will be for you. I really have to intentionally remind myself of that every day, because sometimes I feel like, oh, somebody else is going to get it, or somebody else is going to do it, or this, and that. But it's like, what is for you is for you. And I just have to make sure that I'm conscious, maybe not conscious, but I'm aware. Is that the same thing? I don't know. I'm aware of that every day. And then also, so when walking in your purpose, and I prayed and fasted and asked God for my purpose, and I did receive that, what it is, and I'm so thankful for that. If you want to know the whole thing about my prayer and fasting journey and how God revealed my purpose to me. That is the very first video on this channel. So you can go watch it there. But it's so easy when God gives you, it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. So if God is calling you to preach, if God is calling you to sing, if God is calling you to start a business, if God is calling you to, just anything, and He's revealing your purpose to you, it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. So easy. And that can completely stop you in your tracks. Like, completely stop you in your tracks. So I'll just give you guys a brief tidbit. Since you are watching this video, I felt completely unfulfilled. And I also felt a pulling, like God was calling me to something else, but I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, okay, we're going to figure this out. It was, I don't know what year it was, a couple years ago, I don't know, but it was the beginning of the year because the girl's birthday had just happened. So their birthday is January 12th. So I actually think it was like that. No, I think it was the next day. So, just felt super unfulfilled. So I'm like, God, I feel like you were calling me to something else. I don't know what it is, but I want to know what it is because I want to start walking in it. Like, I want to feel like I'm doing what you called me to do. Like, I don't want to waste any more time. I need to start walking in it. So I prayed and fasted for a month, and two of the things that I fasted were very, very much a sacrifice for me. Very much a sacrifice for me. So I fasted it, and as I'm praying and fasting, God was just giving me these visions that would keep me up at night. Like, I couldn't go to sleep. Like, these visions keeping me up at night of me in the pulpit at my church preaching. And I'm like, this is a joke. Like you got another purpose in that purpose bag up there. You throw it down, drop it down on me because I can give you this one back. Because who is getting in the pulpit? Who is getting in the pulpit? Me? I was already leading praise and worship, and to be honest, I'm not a in the front type of person. I don't want to be in the front. Anybody that knows me knows I will sit in the back and I'll cheer my friends on that are in the front, but I don't want to be in the front. I don't want to be in the front. Anytime I'm in the front, it's not voluntary. It's not because I'm like, oh, put me in the front. No, keep me in the back. I'll be in the back. I'll cheer y'all on. I'll do whatever y'all need. I'm like, God, can I have an usher? Can I be an usher? Like, me leading praise and worship, I started off in my church doing that, and then I went to college, came back, didn't do it for a little bit, and then got back into it. But my church is small, so I really felt like they didn't have no options. Not saying I'm a bad singer, but I'm just like, in a bigger church, I probably wouldn't be the first pick. I feel like y'all just chose me because the church is so small. Y'all got no other choice, and I've already done it. So it's like, just throw it back in there. So I'm like, okay, I want to be active in the church. I want to serve God. This was before I started preaching. I'm like, I want to be active in the church. I want to serve God. So like, I'll do it, and I'll do it to the best of my ability, right? That wasn't me going up to pastor and being like, hey, I want to lead praise and worship. I want to be an usher. To be honest with y'all, this whole preaching, singing, praise and worship thing, I want to be an usher. I feel like I could do great at leading people to their seats. I can have everybody sit nice. I can make sure that if there was a brother and a sister that used to talk in the church, but now they're not talking anymore, keep them on the other sides. Keep them on the other side of the church. Like, I'd be so strategic being an usher. Somebody lay out on the floor, get the blanket, throw the white blanket on them because they're in the spirit. Like, so you need a tambourine because the song good, I'll get you a tambourine. You getting hot, you need a fan, you've been shouting, here's a fan. Oh, get the water for the speaker. Like, I would be great. But you want me to be a preacher. Woo. So, yeah, I was freaking out. And when God revealed my purpose to me, it took me like a good 6 months to actually get up in the pulpit. I'm pretty sure it was at least 6 months before I got to the pulpit. maybe over that. I don't know. Cause I was just like, what? It was just wild. Was just wild. It is still wild to me because I'm still just like, and I did this, and my pastor was like, "Remember Moses," and I'm like, "I know," because I didn't feel qualified. I'm like, I don't know nothing for real. I don't really know nothing because when I was praying and fasting for my purpose, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't reading my Bible like that. I mean, I knew a few scriptures and I knew a few stories from like things we heard when we was kids and like children's church. Like I knew a few of those stories, but I wasn't like deep in my Bible doing stuff. So when he told me I was supposed to be preaching, I'm like, about what? What do I know? What do I know? Like what am I supposed to be preaching about? I'll just watch all these preachers like Jackie Hill Perry, I'll watch her. Sarah Jakes Roberts, I'll watch her. Darius Daniels, Pastor Hannah, Pastor Keon. Like, I'm just like, I'll listen to all these preachers, and I'm like, that is everything they say is deep. I'm like, they're so deep. These revelations they get in, wow. They're so knowledgeable. Who even knows what they're saying? I don't. That's why I'm like, ooh, every time they say something, every time they open their mouth, because dang, that was good. How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that? And God recently told me in the midst of my, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that? I'm not as deep as that. He was just like, you are focusing on your capabilities instead of mine. I said, ooh, you're right, because I can't do that. And I also can't compare myself because God uses different vessels in different ways. God's using them in a way, he's using this person in a different way. They're getting a different word, they're getting a different word, they're getting a revelation, they're getting like it's God is going to use that person how he sees fit. And I was I was looking at my own knowledge and my own capabilities instead of God being able to, instead of God's capabilities, which is no limit. There's no limit on what God can do through me. And I was just looking at what I can do rather than what God can do. And that stopped me in my tracks real quick. And he also told me that when I am speaking to a room, he's going to give me a word for that room. And while I may not think the word is that deep, who am I to say if a word isn't deep enough if God gave it to me? God's word will not return to him void. Somebody's going to get something out of it. And if nobody gets anything out of it, if I don't want to say nobody, because somebody will. If only one person gets something out of it and nobody else did, great. One person got something out of it. So I'm really just in that season of making sure that I'm not comparing myself, because that'll make me not do anything. It'll make me not do anything. So yeah, I feel like I got way off of where I was. I don't even know where I was at this point. But yeah, I really guess this video is just me talking about just my season I'm in of really just being a single mom while trying to work in my purpose. And it's stressful and it's hard. I have my days where I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I really don't know. But as long as I continue to lean on God and I continue to pray and have faith in him, I really, like, I'll be all right. And I'm going to keep going and everything will be fine. And yeah, and to that single parent that's out there stressing themselves out, you can only do what you know how to do and be gracious, give yourself grace, and just make sure that you are making time for you and you're not just finding your identity and being a mom. Don't lose yourself in the process, because I did. I really did. I had no idea what to do with myself when I wasn't with my kids. Like, who am I? My kids are here. What do I do? Like, who am I? What do I do? So, just really finding you again. And it's a journey and it's difficult, but it's definitely possible. And then walking in purpose, just making sure you're seeking God and you're consulting Him with every step that you take. And whatever He's telling you to do, just making sure that you're doing it, because you don't know how critical that step is in getting to your destiny. So, just making sure that you're being obedient. But yeah, I hope you guys got something out of this video. And like I said, I don't know. This isn't really an advice video. It's really just, I guess, insight into my journey and insight into my season and insight into just like how hard it is out here, man. Not only as a single mom, not only as a mom, but like a mom trying to make time for God, a mom trying to walk in purpose and serve the Lord, and still make sure that I eat healthy and find time to work out, drink my water. Got my water right here. Make sure I'm drinking water. When I really just want a nice pop, I still be drinking pop. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna probably crack open a pop before I go to bed. But yeah, I guess this is really just me talking about it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. There's going to be more videos to come of me giving insight and hopefully tips. But I feel like I don't know what tips to give. Maybe I just gave tips. I don't know. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hopefully not as stuffy. All right. Bye, y'all.